From a very long time ago, long before technology, Rwandans told stories and shared information verbally. As technology came around, radio and television broadcasting scored higher than print media. In Rwanda, print media is perceived to be less widespread and less popular than radio and television. Today we have come to a media house where individuals work in print media for a living. Imvauncha is one of the most popular newspapers in Rwanda, and it's also a national newspaper. Today journalists and editors talk to us about the challenges of print media in Rwanda, and they also talk to us about the state of Imvauncha since its adoption of online platforms.
The challenges, you see, as online develops, people get, actually, when you have your smartphone with data, internet, bundle, you can read what these websites are publishing. To buy a newspaper, you need to pay much money. Actually, it's not like perusing online, you see. So there are those people who up to now don't understand the value of print media. You know, this one, you can keep it as long as you want. But for a story that was published online, they can pull it down. You don't have a copy, you see?
Print media mu Rwanda.
Even though print media never advanced as well as radio and television broadcasting, it was basically the first tool of communication that came to Rwanda.
Urwego rutabashije gusa nkaho ruzamuka cyane ngo rukomere, hano usanga ibinyamakuru
Looking back at several years, we find that only 3 print media houses were able to grow and become powerful and nationally known. Those are Imvauncha, the New Times, and the former Isingizwe Lucky. Other print media houses in the country are those smaller ones owned and sponsored independently by individuals and seem to be financially unstable. Imvauncha was owned by the government in the past, but today it is an independent newspaper, even though the government still owns some shares. So Imvauncha never encountered heavy challenges some other newspapers may have encountered. Some of the heavy challenges print media encounters generally include having to compete with broadcasting media houses, because those are the ones Rwandan audiences are drawn to a bit more. Because broadcasting makes it easier to listen to the news rather than having to read the news. You know, several people fear reading and they don't have a lot of time. As for lesser known print media houses, they have extra challenges mostly coming from themselves. Because they are not financially stable, there are times when they are unable to print a following issue of the paper because they only had a few sales in the previous one. And therefore this one does not go out to the market. Financial instability will cause lateness. They had done the research and the interviews and they have written the articles, but they cannot publish because there is no money. And this is bad for the media house's original objective to publish the paper after a certain amount of time. So when people try to advertise in that paper, they will find it unpopular. Then they ask around for the name of the owner and find him or her unpopular. Then the potential advertisers turn away from it, and there is no other way to earn money for printing.
But the other thing we have to take into consideration is the printing cost. You know, for online, when you have your story, you publish it. You click somewhere and it is online. Everyone can read it. For print, it has to go through very many processes. Getting it printed, it takes a lot of energy and money. And that is why even those people who used it to do that traditional journalism, I mean this print media, today most of them are now online. They are no longer publishing. Because if you have paid for that domain name thing, you have internet, you post. But for this one, you would imagine how the cost of getting this printed, it takes a lot of money. So for you to print it, you have to look at the market. Are we having enough advertisers? Are we having enough supplements? This paid up content. If you're not having enough of them, you go online, because online you don't need many things to get your stories published. So those are the two main challenges: printing cost and the reading culture.
New media has contributed to our work because now audiences from abroad are able to read the news we publish using the internet. Using online platforms has increased the number of our readers because those who were unable to read the paper now know that they can follow us on the internet. So using both print and online, Imvaho has for sure acquired a bigger number of audience. When an individual checks us out on the internet and reads our content, he or she is enticed to look forward to the paper the next morning to read more story.
Like if you go to advertisers, if you tell them that you get your story published in the paper and someone else goes there, let's say that you have the same coverage, you both cover the entire country, for example. He tells them, for me, I'll put it even online. And they know with online, some of them have sponsors. They want to share the story with the sponsors who are probably in the US or in Europe. They know with print, those copies are not, how are they going to reach the sponsors? Leave alone the sponsors, even the beneficiaries. If you're doing something, if you're a business person, you need your messages to reach the people you serve. So with hard copy, you print a limited number of copies. You're not going to supply them to all the people you need to inform about what you're doing. But with online, you only have that link. You share the link on Twitter, on Facebook. Your friends are going to retweet. On Facebook, people are going to share what you shared, so it is going to reach the entire world. So with online, you can communicate to more people than on than the hard copy. You see? So when it comes, as I mentioned earlier, when it comes to looking for markets, if you're having both print and online, you're going to get more money than someone who only has print.
We do use the digital technology of internet here too by having online platforms. Here I'm going to compare our website to other standalone websites that publish the news, such as igihe.com, museke.com, and about 20 others. At Imvaho, when we started, we didn't give strength to the online platform. The strength is in the paper that is printed here every day, the hard copy. Using an online medium was a way to make things easier for our audiences, and I know we are on a good level right now. But I can tell you that the news we publish online is well prepared to attract readers. We add many photographs taken at events so that the audiences can scroll through and see themselves in the photos if they were present at the event, or they see their friends in the photos on our website.
bamushyizeho kuri legend cyangwa kwita legend cyangwa caption ukamanuka kareba nahangaha harimo kana kadari mugenzi wanjye dore nguriye.
On the online platforms, things are really delightful, and we also respond to questions from our readers.
On one hand, I would say print media is not having the value it used to have because of the development in the new technologies. But on the flip side, it's also telling us that we have open our eyes widely and exploit new opportunities that are coming with new technologies advancements.
In matters of news, there are similarities between print and online because of the essence of the news. For example, there are news stories that are very urgent. When we examine the essence of a news story and realize that publication in a paper that will come out the next day is not good enough, and we also realize that we don't necessarily need to put a news story in the paper, we choose to use our online platforms only. But then there are other news stories that we choose to publish in print as well as online. Take an example of a news story in which His Excellency is in a visit somewhere. We publish the story online because of urgency. But then again, there is a person who will need to read that story steadily and calmly. So we put this in print as well, so that this person who did not have the time to scroll through the internet could sit back in his or her house and read that story peacefully while drinking some tea. By the way, that's why you'll find a photo in most of our papers of a folded newspaper next to a cup of tea on a table.
Ikinyamakuru cyawe ukagitahana ugasoma, niba hari amakuru wagiye wumva aca mu matwi yawe amahushuka, ugafata cya kinyamakuru cyawe urimo gufata icyayi ugasoma ya makuru witonze ukanayasesengura.
So the other thing, on the online you can know who wrote the story, the byline, same as in print, but you cannot see their faces. It's not like on TV. When someone is there, you can see them, you can hear what they are saying. In print, that is why in most cases in these African countries, online and print journalists are not, the fame they have, it's not like those people who are on radio stations and TVs.
So in about the first 15 minutes after a journalist arrives on the field, our instructions are that he or she is supposed to send the story for our online platforms. That is, once the journalist knows the important details of the event whose story he or she is covering, they prepare the story and send it to be edited for our online platforms. So you leave the office to go get a story for print, but while you're still on the field, you use the smartphone technology to write the story and send it for immediate publication. Well, this is the end of our visit to Imvaoncha, and they have given us hope that there is a big enough audience in this country for print media. We were also assured that thanks to the digital age, the audience of Imvaoncha has increased and continues to grow. In other words, new media has become another tool that print media houses can use in order to grow and thrive. Today, as we were assured, the value of print will not go down, instead it will go up, because at the end of the day, while we relax, we all want to read something meaningful while we drink some tea. I'm Lucky Grace. Thank you for listening.